Yeah.
It is.
God,
blowing it out. Yeah, we gotta figure out the headphone volume. It is February 4th, 2019. This is Atlanta United FC Weekly, a Home Before Dark podcast. Is that better?
Sure.
No, I don't know.
Better for you guys? Better?
Yeah.
A little bit better?
Sorry, guys. It gets distorted sometimes. I am Tim Herb. As always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Mr. Kevin Bradley. It's good to be back with you guys. Thank you for joining us. If you guys are watching on YouTube, thanks for finding the new link. If you guys are listening to us on iTunes, make sure that you leave a rating and or review. We will read it live on the show. We are joined live in studio by our buddies Larry Luke and Chris Irontooth Newton. How are you guys? Thank you for coming over.
Very good, yeah. Nice to be here.
The newest members of the Home Before Dark family. If you guys did not know, the number one Greater Atlanta metro area billiards podcast.
Apparently so.
The hottest, the freshest, largest growing, fastest growing.
Be lit, man. We're trying to get into niche markets.
So we talking? Is it snooker? Is it 8-ball, 9-ball? What are we talking? Across the board?
Cover everything, yeah. We're into all balls.
Yeah, just balls and holes.
Balls in.
Balls
in. It looks like some of you guys have made your way over to the trap. Thank you guys for bearing with us. YouTube likes to screw people over.
Yeah, I don't know why it changed the camera for.
And then it doesn't give you the controls to change it back. So thank you guys for your patience. Here we go. Hashtag on brand from Andy Watkins. Tony Neitzel. Smash that like, Brian. That is correct. That is correct. It feels good. It feels good to be back.
New link, or do we need to?
I'll handle all that. Don't worry about that.
Well,
he's got to tweet it out.
We're going to the retweets.
Look, guys, I'm trying to juggle things back here. I got phone numbers and links I got to figure out now. I had it all. I was lined up, and then it just got sabotaged.
Yeah. The internet is a weird place.
Good old Google, man. Good old Google. They own everything, so you can't complain. You're so ingrained in everything. So they give it to you for free, so you feel really ungrateful for complaining about it. Or
and they steal all your information after that.
Yeah, everybody has it anyway.
That's the price you pay. All your information.
Makes me think of that. I don't know if you guys read comic books, but the Private Eye, that comic book where the cloud just burst and everybody's information goes everywhere, so everybody wears masks. It's coming. It's coming.
Like an episode of Black Mirror.
Oh yeah.
Coming up.
Yeah. Anyway, Monday night, we're back to it.
You're just gonna have to keep
been a while
it because I've got a.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to get the new link up on Twitter for people that aren't on here, which is a reminder that people need to subscribe and hit the bell icon so we don't have to do this every week.
And make sure, like Brian said, smash that like button. So, network news.
Yeah,
you want to go over it? Yeah,
go.
So we have brought in Chris and Larry in their new podcast, Solids and Stripes. Tell us a little bit about it, guys. Tell the listeners about it if they may not know who you guys are, or introduce yourselves if they may not know who you are. They should know who you are, and then what you guys are doing.
I'm Larry Luke. I'm a local designer. I have a passion for Atlanta United and mostly sports branding. I can't watch a single game without paying attention to the design of everything I see. So that's like an extra layer of my sports experience. And had a conversation about this with Chris Irontooth. What game was it?
It was the away semi-final championship game against, was it Red Bulls?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were talking through that, and then we talked all the way through the second game with Portland and Seattle, was it?
Yeah, and basically realized that we just have a similar interest in these kinds of things. And he was going on a rant about something, and he said he went home and recorded a podcast. I don't know if you ever published it or whatever, but at that point I was like, well, maybe we should just join forces and talk design and talk sports design and bring on people we know in the industry and ask them the questions we want to ask to just kind of create a forum for this. And you'd know the whole story if you listen to episode 0 of our
That is correct, which is live on the Home Before Dark Network. If you guys go to gethomebeforedark.com, you guys can find it there, or go to iTunes or to any of your podcatchers. It's everywhere. I believe, I can't remember if the Spotify link has made it up yet, but go and take a look.
Yeah, thanks for doing that, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for coming aboard. What about you, Chris? I mean, people should know who you are. The Irontooth moniker.
Yeah, some people know who I am. I see someone there's asking if there's going to be a Home Before Dark scarf already. I've made a scarf recently. I've done a few posters, some T-shirts. I'm mostly known for Smoking Joe and Miggy Stardust. But yeah, I did this kind of just as a fun project. I started with the Smoking Joe poster, and then people got insane over it. And I started making them. And yeah, it's been really awesome. Like all the players love the work. Like all the players have got their posters. Like they actually asked me for them. I'm like, of course you can have your posters. It's you. So yeah, it's been a crazy 18 months of doing this. And yes, I did not put that podcast out that I recorded because I was trashed when I recorded it, and I listened back to it.
Those are the best parts.
Yeah.
No.
If you've ever listened to whenever Kevin gets just absolutely just belligerent on the podcast, it's great. They call it Firewater Kevin, I think is what it ended up getting coined as.
Is that the plan for tonight?
Every night, baby.
Okay.
This isn't enough.
No, it's not going to do it.
That's about as much as Angie poured you at Thanksgiving for a glass.
Yeah.
I used to go to a lot of Atlanta Hawks games, and I was sat in the cheering section, and I got really excited sometimes, fueled by alcohol, and people started calling me Playoff Larry
there you go.
during those times. But I haven't been Playoff Larry in a while.
Yeah, Hawks haven't been playoff Hawks in a couple of years.
No, I haven't. Yeah, so I've just been hang out in the team store, Larry, lately.
So apparently, not only did YouTube kill us in that,
if you message
I can't even post a phone number.
I guess it goes against privacy.
That's so stupid.
So what is the number? Go ahead and give it to everybody.
It's 678-827-3297. I wonder if I can do it in a series of numbers.
That's what Brian said. Just do it in 3 messages.
Okay. Yeah. So,
this is amateur hour, guys.
Stop saying stuff. 7 and then 3297. So we are still trying to get it figured out so we can do it live during the broadcasts. Elliot Beaven, everybody's tanking it. 678-827-3297. Call, leave a voicemail. We'll play them at the end of the show. Last 10 minutes, we want to get it so that we can do live call-ins, but not only is YouTube fucking us, but so is Google tonight, and the Google voice lines is not cooperating with giving us live notifications whenever people call, whenever we try to test it. So yeah, it's been a frantic 30 minutes leading up to the show on brand.
Yeah. Speaking of scarves, Kendrick always brings it up, us producing scarves, but we need to get more scarves for the scarf wall. We got a longer scarf curtain up, but we need to have overlap on there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I know we're missing some.
You have none of the ones I've designed either, which is...
Well, I don't have the $400
I don't have the money.
Secondary market.
Yes.
So the other part of network news to talk about, it's a good thing that my dad left me whenever I was really young. It prepared me for the news that we unfortunately have to break now. And that our babies... You
always find a way to weasel that in the conversation to make everybody uncomfortable.
Our babies that are all grown up and are leaving the nest. Kelly and Jay are moving on to pursue alternative endeavors through different channels and different means. Jay, you've seen a lot of the video stuff that he's been doing. I think he's going to
fantastic videos.
Yeah, he's going to do a little bit more of that stuff. Kelly's going to be on some other outlets. They brought Jessica on board, and so they're transitioning out of the Home Before Dark banner, and look forward to seeing and hearing everything that they have coming up. We'll have them on to talk about it, but obviously no hard feelings or anything. Wish them all the best, and
we'll see them throughout the year. There'll be cross appearances, everything that's going on.
Yeah. So they're all still on the same social media channels. You can find them at Unreal ATL on Twitter and Instagram and all that. And unrealatl.com, I believe, is their website. So
conspiracy theory. They left because we came on. They don't like us.
Ooh.
We've had a long
running
street fight rivalry.
Could be it. Could be it.
We get like a West Side Story thing going on in the Gulch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's going down in the Gulch, guys.
So yeah, we've got a lot of plans this season, a lot of things shaking up. We want to make sure that we kind of promote the things that we do in-house, hearing you guys' voices, doing things on the trap every week. Part of that's getting the call line set up. Again, call that number, 678-827-3297. Leave some voicemails. We'll play them at the end of the show. But things are pretty much the same here. Just Tudes, one cup.
Dan's not
hanging
here.
out. Yeah, Dan's not
no,
here.
Dan James, yeah.
It's perfect.
Absolutely.
So, what better way? So, do you guys have another episode that you're planning to roll out for next Friday? Because it's official. It's officially official now. We saw the date leaked, but everybody got the email today that the kit event is next Friday, February 15th.
I'm so excited to see what it looks like.
Yeah, so episode 1 of Solids and Stripes will cover the primary kit launch event. Maybe we'll be there live. I don't know if we can do that.
I'll
out.
definitely be there because I've got my season ticket. Tomorrow morning, like everybody else, I'm gonna grab my complimentary tickets for the event. So we'll definitely be there.
So we'll plan to record either on site or right afterwards and get
a lot of reaction.
Yeah. It'd be nice to talk to some folks, get their gut reaction.
So are you going to do a separate show about your reaction to the kit? Or I don't want to overstretch today to get your thoughts if you've got more stuff coming. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of thoughts.
I think we'll splice it together because we want to go through a lot of the MLS kits that have come out this season as well that we want to look at. So obviously Atlanta will get a bit more of an in-depth look. But we've got so many kits to review coming up.
Well, I think without talking about the entire kit, I think there's a very controversial item about the kit that maybe we can.
It's the star, isn't it?
No, it's definitely not that. Maybe we could talk about that.
Is it peach colored? Are they going to do a peach colored star?
That fucking tramp stamp of stripes at the bottom versus a solid back.
The Montreal screw job.
Yeah. Thoughts?
I'm going to withhold my judgment until I see the actual thing versus some leaked things. I don't know. It could.
Have you seen a successful version of it implemented on a kit?
No,
exactly.
Yeah.
Especially when it has a name and number, it kind of fills the space. If you buy a blank and you have it, it's definitely tramp stamp.
Yes.
Alabama mud flap or whatever you want to call it.
I like that. I've never heard that before. That's great.
So definitely blank kits don't look as accurate, I guess.
Yeah. I think the one thing that would make me okay with it, which I haven't seen done on a kit, is a fade into the stripes.
See, I have seen that. I was going to say, like the sublimated kits where they've done that before and they faded it in. Looks okay. I think Fiorentina did it in the 90s.
Yeah. That's something I could get on board with, is if there's some really well done transition from it's that hard line break between the black into the red and black stripes.
Now, I do have a wrinkle to throw into all of this. I was at some Super Bowl events and ran into some people with the team on the marketing side, and I decided to ask them what they thought about the leaks of the kit. And
sorry, guys, I don't know if you saw it. It was all my fault. It's a new kit.
Yeah. Mrs. Escobar sending it out for you.
Oh, no. For sure. So with that being said, they did not want to comment directly on the leaks or the kit itself, but they did say that they wish that people would withhold judgment until they saw like what they're really coming with.
Oh, okay.
That's fair.
And with that being said, I'm also not sure that what we saw is the real thing. Like they could be pulling like a huge prank on all of us.
Darren Eales laughs maniacally.
That would be ridiculous.
What sucks is maybe I'm in the minority from the comments I've been reading, but I really liked the front of the kit. I love the extension of the stripes, and it just reminded me of a nice AC Milan kit. Like it seemed classic, and it's just like a nice subtle move to something different to give some sort of refresher.
I think it is the way to transition out of things to do something really different whenever we get a new sponsor in 2 more years.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's my theory.
I could see that happening. And also on the new kit, way less gold.
Yeah.
The Adidas stripes on the shoulder are now red. So
same thing with the training kits, which I like.
Yeah,
I like the little in cut on the training kit. I need that. It helps my figure.
Helps you get that V.
Yeah, just draws the eyes to my belly button, which is exactly what I try to look for in all of my attire.
So we'll see what happens, but they could have just been leaking this on purpose, and they might hit us with something else. But that's just based on a conversation I had with someone that works with the team the other day. That kind of threw me off because I pretty much assumed that what we saw was what we saw.
So what happened? The way I thought about, or the way that it seemed like things went down to me, was he took a selfie of himself in training, sent it to his girlfriend or wife, and then she posted that to Instagram. Is that right?
I think it was Snapchat. The way the framing was in the picture, it was long screen.
Because it said something to the effect of
stories.
So Instagram stories.
So it said something to the effect of like, this is perfection or something. Like she was showing him off, not thinking about leaking the kit.
Speaking of perfection, or something like that. We'll see. So there's the Escobar leak, and then we actually saw a photo that came from a production team. Like, I don't know who on the set took this picture, which looked a lot like the photo that Escobar leaked. Yeah. But there were some inconsistencies that I saw. So we'll just have to see. we'll have to see what happens. I mean, it would be kind of crazy for the team to do this, but I wouldn't put it past them for the kinds of things that they
you thought it was intentional.
Yeah.
That would be a crazy way to do things.
It would, yeah. It'd be
Franco, get your girlfriend to post this fake picture of you wearing what looks like, with that filter on, the fake colors that guys sell out in the middle or sell out in the International Plaza.
The red's way different, right?
Yeah, I think it was just way different. There had to be a filter that was on that that was causing that, right?
Yeah, Matt Wisniewski says biggest troll job by Darren. I mean, it could be. Darren's always trolling.
Yeah.
Darren stays trolling.
It would be amazing, but I think Adidas are too lazy to make another kit for us. They barely do templates now, so
I'm just so glad that the training kit got weird at the belly flap.
Yeah,
it was so bad.
Oh, that did? I didn't see it.
I loved the all red
horizontal
kit, but I hated that horizontal seam so bad.
Horizontal red seam right across your belly.
Yeah.
I tried that on in the team store when it came out, and I was like, no,
can't do it.
Can't do it.
Can't do it. Yeah. It's terrible.
It sucks too, because that black training kit was so nice. And then
I have the black stripe one. That's the only one that works. Even though it's got the seam, I'm like, it looks too good in the black stripes. Don't wear it.
I managed to look out and get one of the parlays, so I'm okay on that.
I've got that as well.
Parlay flex.
Yeah.
It's gonna be white this year, right?
Humble brags.
Yeah, it'll probably flip over to white.
Humble brags.
Yeah. I didn't get the notification in time to buy one.
Y'all better get those parlay notifications.
Have your numbers come off of yours yet, or the letters come off of yours yet?
No.
Like in the LA Galaxy game?
Well, I always turn mine inside out whenever I wash it, and I'm like really delicate. I'm just waiting for somebody to come up and horse collar me in the middle of like the concourse and Mercedes-Benz.
Why would somebody do that to you?
I've never worn mine. It's still got tags on it, and it's locked away in a vault somewhere.
Just waiting until it gets more valuable than your scarf.
And the product, if only I made that money from those scarves that are going for $400 on eBay.
Yeah, well, you got that home before dark money now.
Yeah, exactly.
Brian's over here saying it, especially if you tummy that training kit. That
it accents my tummy perfectly.
I've actually seen some players wearing it, and it accentuates their tummy way too much. Also, I'm like, damn, like Parky's not thick like that.
That's what's really great about the concrete and strawberry kits, which I finally got one. Not only the horizontal lines, but also that they were sized 2 sizes too small, but 3 sizes too long, which is really great.
It's weird. It's like it's like the reverse Old Navy fit.
Yeah, exactly.
Normally it's way too wide and way too short. Now it's just tight and long. Got it from the tall section, not the big and tall section.
I mean, all kits aside, what we should be really happy about is the gold star for this year.
Yeah,
that's really exciting.
That's a kid like a new kid in of itself. It's perfect.
Gotta buy that one for sure.
Yeah,
because we saw a debut on the King Peach first, right? Somebody posted. I'm trying to remember who posted the picture with.
Archie Eversole had the jersey with the star.
Oh yeah.
I saw a photo of Tito at a photo shoot wearing it also, and maybe some others. Anyway,
yeah. So we did get some news this week. Actually got a little bit
huge news.
Well, there's a lot of news, and we actually got some play, which we didn't get to see. It's not broadcast, but all the scrimmages. Opening up first game with the scrimmage against Seattle.
7-1.
7-1. Did get to see a couple of the goals, though, post match. They were posted online. So
PD scores a penalty.
Yep.
He's
Martinez
taking penalties instead of Joseph, which is weird. Because Joseph didn't miss last year.
He drew the foul.
Yeah, I think he was tackled in the box.
He drew the foul. So
yeah, but typically that doesn't really dictate
preseason.
who gets to take the penalties. It's true, but Joseph, you would think that he would still want to take that.
He had already gotten one at that point. Anyway,
I don't know.
So yeah, I think that's pretty minor. Just like any preseason game, I try not to read too much into it, even less so whenever it's not even televised and there's no real pressure on either team. But a lot of news related to players. We finally got confirmation that Miggy is off to Newcastle.
And apparently is not happy with the team for pretty much holding him hostage.
I don't know that it's him as much as it is his agent at this point.
But if it was just his agent, I don't think he would have spoke out at this point. There's really no point to come out and speak at this point.
Wildly unprofessional to talk about it at this point.
Yeah. It's very weird. It's one thing, you see it happen like whenever people or players are getting frustrated on their like trying to get out, but like to go back and speak on it like that it's frustrating. Yeah. I mean, you should, I guess you can look at it. You can be of two minds. If you're Miguel Almiron, you could say, you can have a lot of, you can find it flattering that the team valued you that high, that they wouldn't let you go for less than that. But at the same time, maybe I can see his frustration, albeit I wouldn't want him to air that frustration of having to wait so close to the deadline. If it was a summer transfer window, he would have been out a lot sooner, I think. The winter transfer window in Europe is weird because most teams are only buying for like specific needs in the middle of the season.
I just hate the whole point that was raised about, well, teams only care about incoming talent and what their prospects are and what their growth is. And then whenever they're outgoing, it's just a business transaction. It's like, well, of course it is. At that point, I mean, you obviously want them to succeed, but
yeah,
are you going to be invested in their success whenever they're not a part of your team anymore? That seems kind of counterintuitive. So at the end of the deal, at the end of the day, it is a business. So I thought that was a little bit of a moot point. But yeah, I'm sure that there is some frustration about him having to wait so long, but 80% of the arguments that were made by his agent, I think, are directly from his agent.
Yeah.
More so than Miggy.
He knew the game plan. There was always a game plan for Miggy, and he knew what was going to happen. They were going to make the profit, and that was what they had to hold out for.
And also from the Atlanta side, we're selling our number 10. We want a big number. We're
Absolutely
waiting for that big
well, it
number.
sets a precedent.
Yeah, exactly. That's the first one.
Right. Granted, I get it. Alphonso Davies was 17 years old, and he commanded a high transfer fee to Bayern Munich because they're Bayern. They have a lot of money, and also he's a very young, one of the biggest prospects in the world at this point at that age. But Miggy has produced, and he's just electrifying. He's one of the, if not the best player in a league that's on the come. And it would be absolutely stupid for us to sell him for less than what we did. And I think that we still, given today's market, I still think he went for kind of a cheap.
Well, especially because it's not a
transfer,
isn't it? It's not a 27 flat, right? Isn't it 20 and then conditions to get to 27?
Yeah, it's 2021, and then it can go up to that depending on if they survive relegation.
And then we have to give 1/3 of that back to MLS, I believe.
Yeah,
because we've only had Miggy for the year.
And then we had
2 years,
$9 million transfer. Blah blah blah. I mean.
It's very much a net positive.
Well, that's why Atlanta had to push for the number that they did, because if not, it's not really that marquee of a transfer whenever you consider all the investment that went in up front, plus his salary whenever he was actually here and everything else that the MLS gets their cut, like Tim mentioned. I don't read into it too much. I think it's a huge momentum swing for Atlanta. It proves that the business plan works, the business model works, and I think it's going to continue to grow and develop as we go forward. But
I think Brian saying that Newcastle is notoriously spendthrift too, or the opposite. So much so that it made me call Mike Ashley the C word a couple weeks ago on the show. And
dude, you act like you don't drop that word all the time.
Yeah, I do. I just all the time, all around town. I just throw it around like we're in Australia, and just
it's pretty much all I hear you say.
No, I mean Mike Ashley is notoriously bad. I mean, he's trying to sell a club right now.
He's been trying to sell a club for about 5 years.
Yeah, nobody wants to buy it. No. Yeah, it's just crazy.
That's the thing that interests me is a lot of our Atlanta fans now saying, "Oh, I'm going to support Newcastle." It's like, if you watch Newcastle play, they're not the greatest EPL team.
I told myself that, then I saw the kit and I was like, nah, can't buy this thing.
The Newcastle kit?
Yeah.
I do like I'm a sucker for the
crazy sponsor.
It's the same thing. I got Real Sociedad, the orange kit with the babao.com or whatever. It's got that crazy text. It's bright orange. I love it.
It's just wow. I'm like, I can't be seen wearing that around town.
Love it.
1996, 97, the Newcastle Brown Ale jersey with the Nehru collar is one of my favorite classic Newcastle kits. That's when Alan Shearer played for them.
You're really gonna love Atlanta United's new home kit whenever we get the new sponsor of UPS, and it is brown and gold.
That's Home Depot orange.
But as long as the emblem still has the red and black 5 stripes on it, that's all that matters.
God.
We could go with the Dookie Brown kit.
Although.
So the one with the sticker is the Jameson cask maker. So they finish it off in a stout barrel, and then that
special edition.
Yeah, right, and then the other one is the Dalmore 15 Scotch. And
look at you guys with your home before dark.
Those were courtesy of Andy Watkins.
Shouts to Andy Watkins, not only providing the glasses, but making sure he throws up that number so people can call and leave a voicemail.
Shout out, Andy. Thank you.
Oh, gee.
It says guest on it.
Exactly.
This is for me.
Isn't it legit? Look, he's got one too.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we could just tape over the one that says Dan James and put guest on that because it's not really getting used at this point.
I like what Patrick Keenum says, PK, in the chat, saying, how did Ariana Grande's tattoo wind up sponsoring Newcastle? Did she end up deleting her Twitter for that, or that was Demi Lovato that ended up deleting her Twitter last night because of the 21 Savage blowback?
Dude, the 21 Savage tweets have been killing me though. Them quoting all of his lines about like 5'5" broad with something other, and then somebody takes a screen cap of how tall is the Queen of England? It's 5'5".
But free 21 though.
I agree.
One thing about speaking of kits, talking about the Newcastle kit, did anybody think it looked like a dress on Miggy? Like it looked giant.
It was like a strawberry and concrete long.
Yeah, it was weird. It was very weird.
Puma makes it, and I know their fit is.
They're notoriously bad fits. The Puma kits.
So we'll see him maybe in uniform this weekend.
This weekend against Wolves. Yeah.
Oh, Wolves. That's a rough game for him to come into. Wolves are playing great.
Mm-hmm.
They're up to
or it could be a great
7
game for him to come into if he comes in and
he would be legitimately maybe the only bit of creativity that the Newcastle squad has. I mean, I did see that like injection of pace and everything.
I did see somebody put up a statistic about what the possibility of Newcastle getting relegated is, and it's only something like 18%. Before his signing, which is really good number. Oh,
just a really ugly fit.
It's weird.
That sponsor's great. Though.
What's the reverse of scoliosis? That's what he has in that picture.
I love it.
Like he's just jutting his belly out. He's like trying to show tummy.
He just flew.
How many months are you?
He's so tired.
He's bloated, man.
Yeah,
he got that. He got that. Oh,
the international travel bloat. But back to Miggy. Watching him play against Real Madrid in the MLS All-Star game, he was the only one doing stuff out there 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I know that was Real Madrid's B team, but still he was running circles around dudes.
I could see him and Rondon linking up well. That kind of South American connection with Newcastle. Just how he plays in England in February in the rain, it's going to be a very different environment
against bigger guys too.
Oh yeah, much more physical league.
Yeah,
I think Davin's not going to cut it this league.
That Wolves backline is going to give him. I think they're probably going to give him a little bit of fits.
Yeah,
we'll see. It's going to be I'm excited to watch him week in, week out. I'm not going to be cheering for Newcastle, but I'm going to be. I mean, I do have a vested interest between him and DeAndre Yedlin in watching that team. But I don't know. Best of luck to him.
Yeah.
Thank you for all your service. It was amazing to have you in the city and what you did for this team. And
Jay's video was amazing too.
Yeah,
it was cool.
Yeah.
And it did kind of think like he died though with the hallelujah. I was like,
yeah.
You had little
Too
kids
much
crying watching it.
I think it could
basically.
I want to get a redub with the Sarah McLachlan over there with crying puppies right next to him. Would be great. That's what I'm clamoring for.
No, that's what's going to happen if and when these rumors are true. Not when, if the rumors are true with LGP and he gets traded, just because of how
is that window not closed as well right now?
Actually, no, you might be right. The Argentina, I don't know. Is the Argentina window, is that window still open for them to purchase? Sure because I don't think I've seen those rumors die down, but I was just thinking about he's always posting his dogs, right?
Yeah.
Like seeing that the Sarah McLachlan commercial with the
Frank DeBoer did come out this past week and say how integral LGP is and how they don't. I mean, he flat out said they don't have a backup for him. Like
he's a future captain. I think when Parky goes, the centre back, he's the next captain.
Agreed.
Yeah, there really is no fill-in. I mean, you could think about Miles Robinson to a certain extent as a stopgap measure, but then what happens if Parky leaves or Parky is retired? I mean, we really don't have another center back to fit back there.
Because I think him and Jeff are going to be rotating a lot this year, just covering each other's backs as the two older guys in the team.
Florentin Pogba, though.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We haven't got an official announcement from the team, but Paul Pogba.
Yeah.
Well, turning into another worst kept secret like Pity Martinez.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the first person to get a Pogba jersey?
I'm getting an Escobar jersey in solidarity for the Kit League.
That's great.
I asked my friend Zach, I was like, are you going to get a Pogba jersey, bro? And he was like, that's like getting Gerald Wilkins, like Dominic Wilkins' brother. I don't even know if he has a brother. Like
Damian Wilkins was, was it his brother? Or it was maybe his nephew or cousin. Yeah. He played, I don't know. He played for the Pacers at one point. I don't know if he played for the Hawks.
He did.
He did,
played for the Hawks one season.
Yeah.
But yeah,
no, it's interesting. I mean, I don't know anything about. Obviously, Pogba is a big name, but not because of Florentine and their older brother. But I got a buddy at work, Igor from the Ukraine, who's a big soccer fan, and I was asking him if he knew anything about Pogba, because I've never seen him play. He says he's watched him play a handful of times over in Europe, and says he's fast and a solid center back. So maybe that can provide some sort of cover back there.
28. His experience. He's played in Saint Etienne for a good few years. So he's played League One. He's played a good standard of football. So I'm pretty confident he'll do fine in MLS.
Yeah. I hope so.
Looks like a big body too. So
yeah,
I think Atlanta's just signing for depth at this point. It's going to be such a long season for this team. I mean, between Open Cup and regular season play, and then we got to win another cup. We got CONCACAF. I mean, we got a lot of stuff coming up.
Costa Rica's just over 2 weeks away.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We got a couple new names in the chat. We got Superman. He says, I believe Felipe said the rumors were quiet at the moment, talking about. I'm guessing you mean Felipe Cardenas. And then who else we got? Mark Earhart, right? Saying Nathan was saying that Nathan Lyons, our guest a couple weeks ago, saying Argentina transfer window closes on the 16th of February. So there's still time.
Sorry, Nathan, I can't hear you. You were beaten out. You are no longer king. We didn't announce John F. Beasy. John Jacob Jangleheimer Schmidt.
John F. Beasy is the champion of MLS Fantasy, Home Before Dark Fantasy.
Congrats.
The once and true and future and present king. Nicholas Mallard saying Harry Kane was in Atlanta for the Super Bowl. Could be a future signing. It's funny. Somebody posted that in our Slack, and everybody's just like, no, thank you. I don't care how good he is. So I don't want him.
What's the prejudice towards Harry Kane?
I don't know.
Sounds like a BBC deadline day rumor. Like I've seen Wayne Rooney, the chip shop in Liverpool. Like that's actually quite
one thing I will say. I'm excited for Pogba's
support the Patriots. That's true.
Pogba's the blonde goatee, bringing back. I love the Cisse look,
Triple
Jabril Cisse look. Yeah, that's the Demolition Man look. That's what it's all about. So other transfers, not anything really of note right now.
Nothing I can think of.
Has Kaku made his way out of New York yet? Has he forced his way out?
I've not heard anything about him. Yeah,
the deal for Luciano Acosta fell through.
I thought that was like one of the bigger surprises I saw. Where PSG was.
He's not gone.
No.
They fell through the day of.
They started paperwork way too late for that deal. I guess. Okay. I don't know if MLS just. I don't know. You see that every deadline day, but the fact that Luciano Acosta was being considered as like a stopgap because Neymar is injured, right? They just loaned out Tim Weah over to Celtic, who's tearing it up. Yeah. And they're like, oh shit, we don't have any depth in the attack. We got to sign somebody. We can get one of the best MLS players for like £9 million, and that fell through. And it's interesting because he doesn't seem that upset about it. And the quotes that I see is like, it just seemed like it fell through. I don't think he's unhappy to stay in DC, but obviously the prospects of going, even in riding the pine for PSG.
He'd be a little bit bummed out from that deal falling.
Yeah, it seems like he's saying all the right things though to get back, because I think that team with him in it, and they still haven't brought back Yamil Assad yet, right?
No, he's gone back to Velez. He said
that's right. Yeah, he's gone.
His place.
We talked about that last time. Yeah.
On that tip, Velez played yesterday, and Assad didn't make the 18. So I don't know.
I
don't know if that means he's been training bad.
Bring him home,
or if they're working on a transfer back to MLS.
I think
back to Atlanta.
Atlanta's done.
I don't know who owns his transfer rights at this point in MLS, because it's not DC.
It was us, wasn't it? I think they expired. Or we still got them.
I don't know.
We may still have them.
Yeah. I don't care.
The thing is, we offered him free contracts and he said no to them all. So it's like he wasn't at the game time he wanted. I don't think he would now.
Agreed.
I don't know. The DC team, if they can, I don't know, without Yamil Assad, now thinking about it, maybe they're not as scary as I thought they were. Who do you guys see as our main threats in the East right now?
I've not really looked at
other than ourselves and the championship hangover. I think is maybe one of the bigger things.
I think Red Bulls will be strong again because they've got such a good foundation of an academy team that they're going to roll through. What's happened to Toronto? Have they just exploded? Like they've got rid of everybody. The other day they had 2 friendlies in 2 different states with 2 different teams. I'm like, have they just lost the plot?
Oh, Elliot says NYCFC, and yeah, I mean that
no Villa now, though. No Villa.
That postage stamp pitch that always gets
yeah, that's always going to be one of the bigger things, one of the biggest opponents of the season.
Was last year Villa's last year?
Yeah, he tied, in the season.
I did not even. I don't know how that just completely went over my head that I didn't even think about that.
Cincinnati, yeah, they're going to be a threat, I think, as well. They've signed a lot of good players.
Voicemails are trickling in. We already got 2.
Andy's going the opposite of what you just said, Chris. He's saying is not Cincinnati an acceptable answer.
I think they may surprise. They may surprise us at home, which I'm kind of worried about.
I think part of it depends on what Fernando Adi you get, because you have that guy where he's absolutely deadly for half a season and then just goes dormant for the rest of the season. If he can show some semblance of consistency throughout the year,
that be a risk.
That team could definitely be one to watch for. Who else did they end up picking up? Obviously we traded Greg Garza over to them. I'm trying to think of the other notable squad members that they have, because they did end up having a good expansion draft, and then also
they signed everybody in the draft, didn't they? They got like all 100 picks because they just did so many deals. How many players did they get again? Like 7 or 8?
Yeah,
they did a lot of deals.
Yeah, it's I think with a team like that, it's one of those things where it's different than us. And it's more along the lines of what Minnesota, right? Because or the opposite of what Minnesota and what Atlanta were, because they're coming in with more of like a Seattle model where they were already playing for years in a lower league. They have an established team and an established front office and fan base and all that. And I think they're probably going to be a playoff team.
Possibly, yeah.
I think the success we've seen from quote unquote expansion teams, if you want to call them that, with them included, is, the past couple of years with us in LAFC, seeing the success that we've had. It's not something to sneeze at. It's not like most other leagues, like NFL, whenever you bring in the Houston Texans and then they're just dog shit for, the first 5 years of existence because they have such an uphill climb.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really seem to be that way in MLS. So
yeah,
I don't know. What are big threats other than New York Red Bulls? You see anybody really coming out of the woodwork? Yeah.
Columbus.
I'm less worried about Toronto now.
They've just got rid of everybody. Like, I don't know what they were doing. They've just abandoned ship.
I mean, really,
I could see Houston.
Yeah, that was our bogey team as well. Like when we first played them, we always get
maybe Columbus with a chip on their shoulder.
And they've got a lot more safety now. They know they're going anywhere.
Exactly.
They've been saved. So yeah, serious.
Well, especially because it's new ownership, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all those players are kind of playing to secure a position in the transfer. So
they might just be hyped that Precourt's out, and they'll just remove the bad thing, and they're going to start playing. Do you think
that their attendance is going to see an uptick? Because that was one thing we talked about over the past 2 years with the Save the Crew, was that they weren't exactly filling up an already small stadium whenever he was there. So I don't know. I hope so, because it would be nice to see them successful and them, being one of the old franchises in the league.
This is their moment to get excited again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would think so. Austin's next year, right?
21, I think.
21. We have
Nashville's next year, isn't it?
If they can get their situation with the stadium squared away, because this was supposed to be their first year as an MLS team. And I know that there's been a fight with the city because of the plot for the land, but Inter Miami is next year. I think we finally get to see them.
Who are the big names like owning that team? Is it Beckham?
Yeah, Beckham. Beckham is one of the owners, the most notable owner probably. And then
A-Rod?
No. That sounds right. That
sounds like such an A-Rod thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah,
just jump on a Beckham project.
It's like Mark Anthony, right? Doesn't Mark Anthony own the Marlins?
Probably. Yeah.
Like he
I don't know.
Married Jennifer Lopez one time, and now he's the owner of a professional baseball team. I was trying to pull up that because
I'm interested. Orlando?
Who's that?
Oh God,
they still have Will Johnson, right?
Oh God,
they were.
Will with one N Will with one L.
They played him too many times last year, and it triggered a contract renewal.
Oh, did it really?
So they have to keep him.
Who ends up worse in the standings this year, Chicago or Orlando?
Orlando for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Granted, I have not looked at the Chicago squad since.
Hasn't been much of one.
Yeah.
Just Schweinsteiger, and that's it.
Schweinsteiger left, right? He's gone? Did he retire?
Resigned.
Oh, he resigned?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see.
He's got to figure out what position he's going to play.
So notable players.
But he might be in goal this year. Yeah. He might be in goal this year. Who knows?
They keep pushing him back. Push him all the way back.
Oh, Kendall Waston, who got a red card the other day as one of the center backs from FC Cincinnati, who's always a threat in the air, as we know. Alvis Powell as people have mentioned in the trap from Portland. I'm trying to pull out. It's really, it doesn't seem like.
I just feel like we have the talent, and if we just keep our heads down and play the game that we need to play, like it's going to come down to us in the East.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, it's hard to say that we aren't our biggest competition
for sure
for this year, because we really didn't lose much. I mean, we did lose a lot in Miguel Almiron, but as a net, you talk about bringing in PD Martinez, who we haven't really talked about yet, who has been touted as like the best prospect to ever come to MLS or the most talented player to ever get transferred to MLS.
He did score that bike during training, which was pretty dope.
And did you see that little nutmeg he did?
Yes.
On the turn.
Yeah.
Filthy.
Yeah.
I've been trying to temper my enthusiasm for that, so I haven't been clicking on every link. I haven't watched every highlight, but all the highlights I do see, he's just nutmegging people.
Yeah.
It's just Martinez nutmeg highlights.
I'm interested to see him in the pace of play in front of 70,000 plus.
Yeah, what does he look like?
Yeah.
Because
on our pitch
right now in training, I mean, nothing against those guys. I mean, they're playing super. I saw something from LGP today, slide tackling Tito or something just to make a play on a ball in 5-on-5. And I mean, they're playing hard. They have to during training, but it's still just training. And it's just scrimmages until it actually stands or means something.
It sounds like they're training a lot, right?
They
Chris?
are. Yeah, I was speaking to Brad, not to name drop, but he was saying like they were getting pushed hard by Frank. Yeah, like
that's good. He needs to know immediately what he can get out of the squad. He needs to know what the maximum that the maximum amount of effort and talent and
it's also I think
it's
sort of him establishing himself too as what expectations are from the front or from the coaching standpoint for everybody to know it's a long season, and if you're not conditioned to that level, you're not going to make it through the 60 plus games whatever that Atlanta's going to end up having to play once it's all said and done. So should we go to voicemails real quick? I've got 2 of them so far.
Go for it. I'll unmute it. Let's give it a shot.
All right, hold on,
see if it works.
I gotta pull it up.
Let's see if Kevin did the magic. He did the thing.
I got my voicemail. Okay. First one.
You need to get a jingle.
Go.
What is that?
Hey, this is Andy from Athens, a long-time listener, first-time caller. Just want to call and see what you guys think about not having any sort of open scrimmages, streamable scrimmages before the first CCL game. Is this a bonus to us? Is this going to help keep things hidden? Or is this a detriment? Are we trying to hide something? I'll hang up and listen. Thanks.
That's pretty great. I like this. This is really good. I'm really excited about this.
So guys. What is to that? Let's keep with it. What do you guys think about that? What are your thoughts? I mean, are we trying to keep something hidden?
I just think he doesn't want distractions. I think he just wants to get down to train and see the team that he's got and how he wants to get them to work without the media or anyone being around and giving him. You know what the media's like? They'll just jump on him.
Yeah, I think there's so much riding on our real preseason this year with it being Champions League that it's there's no room to drop a preseason game like we could have last year.
He needs to be ready to Costa Rica if he loses that.
Exactly.
It's massive.
I mean, I think
it's a short timetable, and also like you got to think about the people that work for the team. They've been going all season long, and we won in early December, and they haven't had a lot of time off. So scheduling a match, getting people in the seats, and like ticketing and all that. Like it's just like the whole infrastructure, rushing all that. It's just like give these people a break.
Was it you guys telling us about how much the front office hates that we're doing another kit reveal event? Because of all the extra shit that has to go into the event coordination.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I can totally believe that after talking to the people that I've talked to.
What do you think, Tim?
I don't know. I don't know if it's by design. Like, I don't know necessarily if, maybe there weren't the big exhibition match games. Because, I mean, think about who did we play last year in the preseason? We went up to Nashville. We played them in their inaugural game. It was very fun.
Yeah,
it was so disgusting. And when you
can't wait until
if you look objectively at the pitch for that game, it was a terrible game to watch. But we had a lot of fun because we traveled in a huge pack and
God, it's gonna be so fun to do that every year. God, it's gonna be so fun.
And then
we have a game in Kennesaw in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that's plenty of time to see our team.
Yeah. True. But we weren't necessarily playing the most television-worthy opponents last year in the preseason, so I'm not really necessarily worried or thinking that there's something nefarious behind it, or that they're trying to withhold this from the viewership or the fans or anything. But I think it probably has more to do with that CCL game coming up than anything.
Mm-hmm. And they got to focus. They need to train.
Yeah.
It's like as Chris said.
Is that first CCL game broadcast on anything?
I'm sure someone will be picking it up somewhere because it's.
He's got to.
Too
right?
not to pick up.
Just don't know how they're going to do it from Kennesaw.
Did Evan, our buddy Evan, did he tell you at the party the other day? Did he tell you that they're going down to San Jose and around the time that Atlanta United are going to be down there playing against Herediano? Yeah, trying to book a trip around that. It should be pretty.
It'll be on Univision apparently.
Oh, okay, that's cool. All right, I got another voicemail. If you got one, you got a few more minutes here before we start wrapping up things.
I like Kevin Brown said, I just cussed for 38 seconds straight in my voicemail. Enjoy that.
Oh, I can't wait. I really hope you're not lying. So that one just actually went through.
He's like a fifth grader who just learned how to cuss.
678-827-3297 is the number. Sorry for the live chat inability to really post it. They are trying to screen us from putting numbers.
What we'll do is we'll start using OBS and put like a lower third on there that gives you like the call-in information.
Oh, that would be brilliant. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm not trying to like get handsy on it, but
sorry, I thought it was mine.
I've had two at this point. So, okay, next one. Here we go.
Hey guys, so here's my question. Miggy going to Newcastle and all the money and press the club has gotten is amazing, but what happens if Miggy gets over there and is a complete bust? Does that set the league back in the eyes of all the European watchers because our quote-unquote best player goes to a lower level team and doesn't make an impact? Or can you just blame it on the fact that Newcastle's not a great team? What do you guys think?
That's a good one.
We kind of had this fear last year with there were rumors that kind of went around for a little bit with Tito maybe going to Wolves, the aforementioned Wolves. Yeah. And part of that was at the time thinking that they weren't really a great squad and how's he going to fit into that team? And what is that? And what impact does that have? I think it kind of is a detriment because you end up seeing this happen in other leagues too, where I think people get gun shy about purchasing younger players or other proven players from other leagues because what's going to happen for every Luis Suarez from Ajax, there's a Vincent Janssen from Ajax that doesn't do shit. I mean, it's one of those things. Well, we've seen somebody spend $20 million to bring somebody over. I mean, Josie Altidore is actually kind of probably a better example because, they did, who was it? Hull bought him, brought him over, and then he fizzled out, went up and played in Holland.
But is there a middle ground?
I don't know.
I think the middle ground is the more exciting topic for me is that it always seems whenever we have these conversations, it's like he's either got to be great or he's going to be a washout. And I think that there's something to also be said for maybe it's not the first season or the first two seasons that he has a breakout year, but after, in his third year, if he starts to catch his stride and Newcastle starts to trend on the up and up and he's not the best and greatest Newcastle player of all time, but I think that there's some discussion there for the middle ground effort. I mean, I don't know though, because at the same time I say that, and as I'm saying that, I realize that this is a marquee historic signing for Newcastle where it's the most money that they've ever invested on a player too. So I think that they have some expectations that he's going to fit the bill for that as well. So
yeah, I think it's a big deal for them. If you look at the grander scheme of the EPL, though, 20 million isn't that much for a player. So I think just getting established is his first goal. I don't think he's going to come in all guns blazing. Maybe he'll set up a few goals. Maybe he'll score. That'd be great. But I think it's given time. They'll know he's a good player anyway, regardless of what the team does.
Yeah. Well, if he comes out again, if he's a middle of the road player those first 2 years, and they realize that maybe with a couple pieces around him, he can be an exceptional player, that actually starts to trend the league upwards as well. So got one more.
He's gonna be a league championship MVP next year. The way things are going,
in the championship. Yeah.
Newcastle, whenever they get put down, man, they always throttle the championship, and then they can never really hold sway.
Well, he may have like contract release clauses in there where he can be sold for cheap. Yeah. Like Shaqiri went to Liverpool for $8 million because
what a signing
when he got relegated.
Yeah,
it was cheap.
All right, so we got about 10 minutes left on the show before we start winding down. We got one more voicemail right now. Get yours in while there's still time. 678-827-3297. I wish it was something
I like what
627 HB4D.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll find a vanity phone number. We got the money. We'll just buy it.
Fuck it.
I like what Tony Neitzel's saying, though, Anthony Neitzel in the trap. He said, so remote podcast from Portland for the Timbers away match. Tony is originally, he moved to Portland from Atlanta about a year ago, I think.
Oh, man.
He's part of our core contingent out there of probably one person.
I still can't get over Kevin Brown. I mean,
he's been to almost every away match.
I think he's only missed something like six games total.
Wow.
This guy lives here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And he travels to.
He's a flight attendant. So
But yeah,
he's
got
the hookup on the flights.
Yeah.
So.
Kevin, I saw you in the trap. How many games?
Guys, about this upcoming season, can't wait to get started, get back to the Gulch, get back to Mercedes-Benz. Switch my tickets over to section 120, ready for a new experience. It's going to be a great year, guys. Look forward to hearing the pod. Bye.
Oh, I like it. It's just a hype. It's just a hype voice.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good.
People are saying it's buffering. Oh crap.
Oh, this is good.
No.
I'm glad we ended. We had a peak, and then we've tapered back off. We started. We ended the same way we started.
It says we back.
Too many viewers.
And we back. Yeah.
And we back.
Too many
voicemails.
Yeah, too many voicemails. Yeah. Too many Google services going at one time. We're crashing their servers. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I had a topic I wanted to bring up.
Jay just DDoSed us.
Yeah, Jay left the network and immediately just called a friggin' Russian troll farm and
We're
had
about
us
to get swatted.
Damn, Jay.
About to get swatted.
So you guys saw that the MLS Cup had a higher attendance than the Super Bowl last night. And I understand that there were a lot of credentialed media members for the NFL there or whatnot. But I also know that there are less seats in the house when we play soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So all that being said, like, soccer's the wave. Like, we are taking over. Like,
there's no doubt that it's the wave. But I think that there's there has to be some asterisks beside that. I mean, the cheapest ticket last night was $2,600. Cheapest ticket for the Cup was 120.
Yeah, financially, we don't even compare. But what I'm saying is, that's a cool ass stat.
Oh, I'm fucking like, I'll push it whatever way you want to push it. But I think that there's definitely some other parts of that story that.
Yeah, I was hearing people complain that there were parking passes last night that were more expensive than the tickets to MLS Cup.
Wow,
I believe that.
They were saying, I think there were $250 parking spots that were like near the stadium. I heard rumors of somebody at work who knew somebody who made $25,000 from renting out their house the entire week of the Super Bowl.
That's
like
crazy.
This is insane. Like this is absolute insanity. But to your point, like the credentialed media members. So through work, I went to the Gatorade opening night, what used to be called just Media Day. I was like, okay, I don't know what to expect. Like they give you this little radio, you put that in your ear.
Oh yeah, you can tune to different channels where everybody's at, right?
But you go down and you just sit in the seats at Phillips or State Farm Arena, and then you just sit and watch the Jumbotron and just like click through the different things. Just to hear people getting interviewed.
That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do as we add
people
more shows to the network.
Oh, yeah.
We're all gonna like whenever you tune into the live stream, it's gonna be 3 different broadcasts, and you have to tune in to which channel you want.
Oh yeah, it'll be like ESPN3. Whenever they used to have like the different camera angles and different things you could watch, you could just watch the coach's cam on the NCAA.
Coach's cam, just get a little. I'm gonna have one over here, just a little side cam. Be great.
Just straight up into your nose. Yeah, and
will it crash? Probably.
Touche. The attendance. What do they usually allot for football games? It's something like 74,000, something like that.
I think it's more than soccer.
Yeah. And it's even more for college football. I think the stadium gets bigger, or I can't remember. There's like an absolute maximum capacity, and it may be for either college football or international soccer or something.
Probably the college football. Also
for Taylor Swift.
But I mean, you look. We had a lot of corporate seats too at MLS Cup and at the All-Star Game. All-Star Game was way different because that is just a straight up corporate event. But I mean, you still had a ton in standing room only and everything.
So it says here on Wikipedia that 75,000 is the cap for special events.
Gotcha. Okay. So special events being like national championship or Monster Jam. Yeah, Super Bowl. Yeah.
They sold that shit out. I heard.
Yeah.
That's why we have to play in Kennesaw.
Exactly.
So 75, and we had 73 something.
73
for the
something,
MLS
73
Cup.
5, I think it was. Yeah.
I mean, that's just amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah,
know
absolutely.
everyone already knows that our
In the
crowds are
rain.
amazing.
But how
In the rain,
much of
yeah.
that? I mean, it is the Super Bowl, but how much of that has to do with us playing on our home pitch for the championship, as opposed to the Patriots and the Rams playing over here?
Sure. I mean,
Granted, there are probably as many Patriots fans in Atlanta as there are Falcons fans at this point, but
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just simply amazing what we have.
Yeah.
That's the.
it's
only
just
point
nothing
I'm
to
just trying
sneeze
make.
at. Yeah.
No.
And they're just like, I guess the only other thing you could say is like if the Falcons were playing the Super Bowl in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, would there be more people than were there last night?
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, you take in 75,000, but you also give away 5,000 something media credentials.
Yeah. So you are, because they don't end up going against the ticket and seat total, I guess. Is that where you're getting at? Yeah.
I don't think they do.
Yeah.
Which just means they're in the tunnel and like in the club. Like they're just all over the place. You know,
Yeah, they're
media
everybody
people. Yeah.
too. I mean, like we joke around about our setup, but like there are people that were down at that media day that just had like a selfie stick and a phone with media credentials.
Yeah, anyone.
That's like,
can get a
who
media
are these
credential.
people?
Yeah,
it's like it is pretty easy to get that, unless you're trying to get media credentials down to Orlando City, and then they shun you.
It's like I've got a Tumblr.
We didn't have the clout that we got now, though. Homie.
I've got a Tumblr, and
What-
like I high five Rob Gronkowski
We could post-
once, so like I should get a media.
We can
Hashtag
post,
Barstool.
we can post now whenever
Right.
we reapply for Orlando media credentials. Not only are we the #1 Atlanta United podcast, top 5 MLS, but we're also a top 5 Orlando City podcast whenever we talk about
whenever
them.
the Orlando City stuff comes around.
We do have one more voicemail. I wanna play
Oh, we
real
do?
quick. Yeah.
This shit work? Why nobody answer my call? I'm trying to get on the air. Y'all do that Home Before Dark podcast? Used to be banter. Y'all don't do much bantering no more. Everybody jumping ship. Y'all barely staying afloat. Give me a call back, man. Some bullshit. 1 star.
1 star.
That was a great call.
Oh,
That's
I
what
wonder
was-
who that was.
I had to test it to make sure it worked earlier today. That was me,
Oh.
guys. Thanks everybody for calling in. Anything else tonight? So you guys, new show. You're gonna probably try to record next Friday.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Twitter, it's Solids 4
Solids
Stripes.
4 stripes.
On everything, right?
On everything, yeah. Facebooks, the Instagrams.
You know, I
Twitters.
really like seeing the number 4 get multiple uses. This is really good because we do Home Before Dark and we always get what's the 4 for? It's before, like B in the number 4 is
Yeah.
before. And you guys are using like an and sign, which is great.
Because it looks like one.
Yeah.
Sort of. Mhm.
Yeah, I like it.
It's like the upside down, like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So just to recap, I mean, Solids and Stripes podcast, we're obviously brought together by Atlanta United, but we're going to be roasting everyone design wise.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
So, but yeah, we're not going to be only talking Atlanta United.
And we'll get you guys up on YouTube. Make sure that
Yeah.
you got the, because that's the big thing, right? Is like getting the visual
Yeah, to show
correspondence.
people what
and
we're talking
everything.
about, like, we're gonna look at the Silverbacks rebranding probably. That's
Wait, are they going to even have one anymore? Did you see the announcement they came out with?
No, what's
What'd they
happening
say?
They've said that they're pretty much hanging up their hats.
now? Oh wow!
I tweeted something out like,
Wow.
What are the Ultras going to do? They all going to just be Orlando City fans?
I think they already decided to like not support anymore. I thought they
it says from Atlanta Silverbacks, the future of Atlanta Silverbacks. After 20 years, Atlanta Silverbacks FC have hung up our professional boots to focus on providing the premier soccer facility and recreational adult leagues in the Atlanta area at Silverbacks Park and Silverbacks Indoor. So somebody mentioned that I guess that their NPSL got bought and rebranded as the Atlanta Soccer Club.
Yeah,
But yeah, it just seemed like an odd way to announce that when everybody kind of knew.
so
that,
that they're not even doing the soccer club thing now.
That's what
are
I don't.
they?
I have no clue.
Wow.
No
Well,
clue.
maybe it
So,
was
yeah.
maybe it was that logo they put out just killed the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've already like put that away, way
Talk about
back. I
people
can't
that
even
just
pull
bought
it up
Photoshop.
yeah.
I think it's good because I have friends who were Silverbacks fans who said like, I'm not going to support United because this is my team, and while they're still alive, I'm not going to support them. But now if they're dead, people start jumping over to United.
No, they'll be Orlando City fans. They were already. Right.
Oh.
You saw that, right? All the ultras that were like teaming up with the Orlando City supporters groups down there with Ruckus and all that because they hate Atlanta United and them coming in and taking the city. And I'm not going to apologize for Arthur Blank.
Nah. All right. So new show next week. New show on the network. Solids 4 Stripes at Twitter on all platforms. Where can they find you at individually on Twitter?
At Larry Luke. L-U-K, no E at the end.
Cool.
And at Irontooth Design on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
When's the new scarf going up? Did you mention it?
WrestleMania. I'm just finishing some manufacturing stuff. That'll be going out. Probably pre-orders at the end of the week. And I've got a few scarves coming out with Soccer in the Streets, which are going to be a lot of fun.
Nice, man. Nice.
Always a good cause.
Yeah.
I love those guys.
Yeah, totally.
Great organization.
We got a lot of stuff planned for this season. Technical difficulties will always be included in it.
That's part of the package is what you sign up for.
Thanks for hanging out with us, guys and gals, in the trap or on iTunes, however you found us. One of the things we didn't mention, we didn't get any new reviews on iTunes. Whatever
it's
you
very
leave,
disappointing.
Whatever you post on iTunes, now more than ever, we need your support. Starting out a new season, if you haven't left that review or that rating, get your mama, your auntie, your daddy, your uncle, get their phones. Throw 5 stars up, leave a review, whatever it says, we'll read it out on the show. Get those voicemails in at 678-827-3297. Phone lines stay open 24/7.
Petey the Fool.
And
hashtag Petey the Fool.
Hopefully we can get it up so people can call in live. That'll be awesome.
Yeah. It'd be good. You can't find me on Twitter anymore. I deleted it.
I wasn't even going to give you the good graces. Yeah. And you can't find Dan anymore either because neither can we.
I don't know. He's completely gone. Just completely gone. I don't know. If you guys find him,
tell him we love him.
Yeah.
And we miss him. But yeah, hopefully we can get some more outreach this season, get you guys on the show. We got a couple of guests, at least one guest confirmed for next week.
Yeah, our buddy Domer Donaldson from Terminus Legion is going to be coming and talking about good causes. They have a great cause that they're going to be doing down in the Gulch. March 10th.
Yep.
Terminus Legion. He and Jason Wells, who may or may not be coming next week too. So make sure you guys tune in. Among other things, Domer, the Smoke Master.
Yeah,
he is.
Yeah, beard lights and all. He owes me a set, so he better have them, and then we'll do an after dark set.
Better
we'll just turn
correct.
the lights off.
Long sleeve Mafia as well.
Yeah, man. Bearded Brethren. He goes by many names.
Oh yeah, and he's like
I've just seen his name. I've seen it on the internet.
Yeah, and he has the premier flag waver in the supporter section.
He is.
The man teaches.
Is there a specific flag he always waves?
No, I think he's just the MVP.
He's the tank of a flag.
Yeah,
he is.
Lord.
Man, I'll tell you, I did it one day and I wore my hip out.
Way better than DeAndre.
A hilt. Yeah.
Have you ever seen DeAndre try to wave that flag?
DeAndre had like Tom Brady noodle arms in the supporter section. I'm just kidding, DeAndre. We love you.
To be fair, he got the thickest flag up there.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
It's not easy to wave a flag in the middle of the crowd. It's easier at the railing.
You need those 3 hands on it.
Yeah.
All the way down the hill.
Are we going to have flags in Kennesaw?
Oh, shit. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah, that's something.
There's no flags at the Super Bowl. We're very disappointed.
Yeah. Did you see them? They all had their cell phone lights out, but it looked so bad compared to ours.
Yeah.
Well, also for Kennesaw, like, let's get a tailgate going. Like, I definitely want the same vibe, same game vibe.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there will be. I have no doubt about that. I know they did last year just for the Open Cup games that were up there. They had stuff, so I'm sure that they'll have stuff going on.
Dirty Bird Person, aka ATL Chris, saying local TV showed the GCC MARTA station. What is it? Oh, Georgia Congress Center MARTA station last night after the game. Looked empty compared to what I had to wade through after MLS Cup. I swear the Super Bowl crowd must be privileged AF.
Limos and Ubers.
Yeah. I mean, if you can afford a $5,000 ticket, you're not really like.
I think I saw a couple of people just flew a helicopter down inside the big. That's really why it opens up.
But also a lot of people that came in town for the game just stayed in hotels downtown.
That's
just like walking distance.
Yeah,
fair game.
Good point.
Yeah.
You can find Home Before Dark at Home Before Dark. That's before spelled being the number 4. Yeah, I don't really have anything else. Like I said, we got a lot of stuff coming up this season, a lot of fun stuff. Glad to have some new content on the network. Be sure to keep in touch with Jay and Kelly at Unreal and on their individual pages to get updates on what they're doing and where they're headed. Dan James, again, if you find him, tell him we love him and we miss him, and maybe you'll see him back next week. Until then,
We didn't even mention another signing, but we'll talk about him next time. Dion Pereira, who we signed from Watford.
Did we talk about Anderson last time we were on here too?
Ozzy do? Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about him after he got drafted.
We did. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. All right.
Anyway, do your thing, Playboy.
Anyway, however you found us, we love the hell out of you guys. We'll see you next week. As always, be home before dark.